Okay, ladies and gents, boys and girls, happy Tuesday, May the 31st, 2022. What's going on? Appreciate you all tuning in. We are live here on the Daily Crow. We're taking your questions, your comments, and your calls. 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. I see Travi, John, Cody, Brennan M, Noah Johns. What's going on? Appreciate you all tuning in, guys. Also, you're in the Big Cock Club Discord, have the TDC Questions channel, the TDC Questions channel, to be sure that your questions are answered there. Luke RJ, what's up? What's up? What's up? Appreciate you all tuning in here on the final day of May. The final day of May is upon us as we are here, as I said, taking your question, your comments, and your calls as well. What's going on? What's going on? Also, in the Big Cock Club Discord, head over to the TDC Questions channel, the TDC Questions channel, to be sure that your questions are answered there. Let's see. That does feel like an oversight. Somebody just mentioned no Jaheim Bell in the Lindy's Magazine preseason All-SEC team. That does honestly seem like a bit of an oversight. And I'm the magazine is over across the room. I kind of want to grab it. I'm going to grab it. Hold on, guys. I'm going to grab it because we're going to talk about that a little bit today. I want to dive in that Lindy's Magazine. That does feel like an oversight. It really does. Let's see. We're going to talk about this magazine a little bit, a lot of it today. Did they not list Jaheim Bell? Did I miss that? Huh? Nope. No Jaheim Bell. No, I'm correct. Wow, that is something. I thought maybe I missed it because Brennan M just brought it up. Sorry about that. Brennan M just brought it up. No Jaheim Bell. The tight ends on the Lindy's preseason All-SEC team are Brock Bowers from Georgia, which that makes a lot of sense. He's really good. Cameron Latu, however you say it, from Alabama, and then Michael Trigg from Ole Miss. Those are your three. So yeah, there you go. That's the Jaheim Bell. Not mentioned. Even Dak Joyner. I mean, and no offense to Dak, by the way, but even Dak Joyner made it as an all-purpose on the third team. No Jaheim Bell. Why is Jaheim Bell not the all-purpose guy? You know what I mean? Like, would we not consider his role to be all-purpose? He's going to play receiver. He's going to play tight end. He's probably going to play some in the running back slot if needed. So I'm surprised he didn't get the nod there at the all-purpose slot. Boy, it is hot today. It is hot today, by the way. It is warm in the city. DGD, what's going on? Appreciate you tuning in, my guy. Appreciate you tuning in. Let's see. It's football times, what DGD said. Yeah, even though I posted a baseball clip on social media just a little bit ago. But yeah, it is. And guys, by the way, quick reminder, podcast dropped this morning for SEC Unfiltered if you want to check that out. Episode 3 of the show, just a full breakdown, look back at the SEC tournament. Also the looking ahead to the regionals, the bracket coming out yesterday. So gave my full thoughts on that. Yeah, anyways, guys. Let's see. Jackson Harriet says, yo, football time. Austin Gurr, Jaheim's production wasn't there last year. All SEC isn't based on fan production. Yeah, no, listen, I hear you. I mean, I'm not – I didn't really bat an eye when I saw he wasn't on there. I didn't really think anything of it. I just noticed it because Brennan M said something about it. Brendan M says, what a joke. I get no Rattler, but no Bell is a joke. So Brendan's pissed. Brendan thinks Jaheim Bell deserves to be preseason All-SEC. Many of you disagree and say that it makes sense that he's not preseason All-SEC. Did Jaheim Bell get snubbed? That's a great question for social media. Did Jaheim Bell get snubbed? Is he deserving of the hype? Is he deserving of preseason All-SEC, or is the hype more fan-generated? That's my question. Brandon Coon says Pickens was second team All-SEC. We had none on the first team. Yes, Brandon, I know. I posted this on social media. We'll be getting it out on Instagram shortly. In case you missed it, guys, 6 Gamecocks named to the Lindy Sports preseason All-SEC team. Zach Pickens and Cam Smith on the second team. And then 4 on the third team. Josh Vann, Jovan Gwynn, Dak Joyner, and Brad Johnson. The players on the third team in Lindy Sports preseason magazine. So, I do understand. I do understand like what Austin Greer's saying, and I like when you're doing, listen, especially from the national perspective, when you're creating a preseason All-SEC team, you're not going off fan hype. You're not going off of potential. You're going off of look at the numbers and what guys did last year. Now, with that being said, Michael Trigg, right? Michael Trigg, who that's the kid that's transferring in from Southern Cal, right? I believe so. Yeah. 6'4", 225, went to Southern Cal, transferring in. I don't think his stats were, let's see, last year. Yeah, 7 catches for 109 yards and had a touchdown. I don't know. I think he got injured or something. But you know what it comes down to, guys? You know what it comes down to? Michael Trigg plays for Ole Miss. Ole Miss is coached by Lane Kiffin. And Lane Kiffin's teams score a lot of points. They do. So he is getting more of the benefit of the doubt that he is going to be a massive weapon in their offense versus a Jaheim Bell with who knows? Who knows what it's going to be? Who knows? That's why. Yeah, somebody mentions Cam Smith. Travis Burrell says Cam Smith needs to show me more. I will say this, Travi, isn't it kind of interesting the difference a year makes? That, and I'm taking nothing away from Cam Smith, by the way. I think Cam Smith is, a good football player. But isn't it wild, like, how quickly, like, nobody was talking about Cam Smith this time last year. Nobody. Cam Smith went from being a guy with some nice potential and a solid player to all of a sudden, like, he's like a top 10 NFL draft pick. Like, how does that happen so quickly? And it's like, people talk about South Carolina and lack of respect, and we don't get respect from anybody. Cam Smith is getting a lot of respect for, he had a good season last year. Don't get me wrong. He had a really good season. But I didn't think he did anything where I look at it and say, oh, he's a definite top 10 pick. I just, that kind of surprised me. But I know with defensive backs is different. See, Austin Greer says he's the best DB in the SEC. 2 years ago, folks wanted his scholarship pulled for screwing up against Tennessee. So, how quickly things change, Austin Greer. I think best defensive back in the SEC is a stretch. I think that's a stretch. But, it's just, do you not understand what I'm saying? It's like nobody was even talking about him last year. He went from not even talked about to all of a sudden the best in the conference. Like, that happened so quickly. It happened so quickly, So, and it happens. That's the way it goes, right? You break out. You look at the DBs that are ahead of him, right? Eli Ricks from Bama, Jalen Catalon from Arkansas, Jordan Battle from Bama, Khalil Ringo from Georgia. I wouldn't argue any of those. Tyke Smith from Georgia. Then you got Cam Smith, Antonio Johnson from Texas A&M, Malachi Moore from Bama. I'm not saying certainly he's not one of the best defensive backs in the conference. I'm just saying, like, it happens so quickly. It happens so quickly with Cam. And again, I guess it does with players. I guess it does with DBs. I think what happens is we do get kind of lost in, heck, I was hard on J.C. Horn. Because it's just, it's hard for me. Like J.C. Horn, for example, the argument I had against J.C. Horn, he had no interceptions going into his last season. And I just said, you're not an elite defensive back if you don't have one pick. I'm sorry. You just don't. You're just not. You're just not. Now, granted, though, to be fair, they're not throwing his way a lot. They're not throwing Cam Smith's way. They didn't throw Cam Smith's way a lot. So it'll be interesting to see just how good Cam Smith is this year. I just, we talk about respect and lack thereof. It just went from like he's getting no love to like he's a top 10 pick. Like I feel like We made a very aggressive jump very quickly. But, let's see. Brandon Kuhn, Chris, what true freshman do you think will play the most this year? Let's go offense and defense, Brandon. Offense, I'll say Landon Sampson. Defense, I'll say either Anthony Rose or Keenan Nelson Jr. the defensive backfield. We're going to need them. We are thin at safety. We're going to need those guys. Guys, of course, the Daily Crow is always brought to you by Carolina Ale House. Be sure to check out Carolina Ale House locations all across the state. They got beer on tap, cold beer on tap, great food, TVs everywhere. And you guys know we're at Carolina Ale House each and every single road game for South Carolina football. We're also doing a TSUS tour in the month of July and early August, where we'll be going around to all the locations across the state, doing live shows, meet and greets, all that good stuff. So, again, you guys be sure to come out and go out to your local Carolina Ale House and tell them that Chris from the Spurs Up Show sent you. Brandon Kuhn says Lindy's has Rattler, or had Rattler, SEC Newcomer of the Year. Love to see it. Love to see it. Let's see. Will Corbs is about to go into the knife, just in case. Go Cox. Will, well wishes on your surgery, my friend. I'm sure you'll come out okay, but well wishes on your surgery for sure. Let's see. Let's see. Colby Parker says, going on a cruise July 4th, I think I'm going to need a tank top. Dude, get you one, dude. TSUS.store, my guy. We got plenty of tanks. Austin Greer is losing his collective shit right now. Darrelle Revis never had more than 2 INTs in a year. You're also talking about an NFL DB. I'm just saying, Austin, at the college level with JC had opportunities to make big plays and didn't. Like, he didn't. Before his last season. I'm nitpicking here, though. Like, he was always a first rounder. I'm nitpicking. I'm just saying that, like, I think where we get caught up is, guys don't make big plays. They're not making plays consistently. I mean, they're clamping down their guy, but fans like to see turnovers. They like to see those type of plays made, and so I hope to see it. I hope to see Cam Smith make a game-changing type play this year. We're gonna need him. We're going to need him flat out. Justin Langford defense is going to thrive out of the 4-2-5. Hunter Herlong, who scores the first touchdown this year? I'm going to go with first touchdown of the year. I'm going to go with – that's a tough one. Rattler on a QB sneak. How about that? Bobby Patterson, what are your thoughts on Landon Sampson's brother coming in as a PWO? Bobby, realistically, he'll never play. Listen, it's cool because Landon's coming, but I think it's just more of a thing where Landon's brother is getting out of the military, wants to go to school. He played football before. I don't think he ever sees the field. I mean, again, most other services might try to convince you, and that's what I'm talking about, guys, in recruiting, that we celebrate every guy that commits, and I'm happy the Sampson family, is embracing USC, and they're going to have the entire family there. But does he ever play? No, I don't think so. I mean, I could be wrong, but I highly, highly doubt it. But again, great to have the Sampson family on campus. That's cool. It's a family affair. Let's see. Connor McCormick says CBS first tutty. Christian Bill Smith, Lloyd, Jaheim Bell. We got a couple different answers here. All right. So like I said, guys, we'll talk some Lindy's today. So in years prior, I've taken like a podcast and broken down these magazines. And I just kind of thought, I'm like, we make our own content. Like, I don't need to do that. But we will talk about this. I do want to, because I don't know about you guys, if you're like me, I love preseason magazine season. I love it. Yes, Nelson, I think Stone Blanton will play. Yes, he needs to play. He has to play. We don't have a lot of depth at linebacker. Anyways, I love the preseason magazines. So I do like diving into these, but we're not going to do that on the podcast. We'll do that more so on the Daily Crow and throughout content. I'll be making content around these, but we're not going to do the podcast. On that note, Really excited because, again, today is the last day of May, right? Baseball season is over for us, for South Carolina. I would say, I don't know about you guys, what month you would vote. I got to say June, if we're talking off season. June is the most off-season month of all, right? Like there's nothing going on. Like if your team's not playing baseball, there's nothing going on. When it comes to football, there's nothing going on. At least in July, you have SEC media days, and then you're looking ahead to fall camp. June, there's nothing, right? So I'm like, I was like, what could we do in June? What could we do in June? Well, instead of taking time off in the podcast like I originally planned, what we're going to do in the month of June, and I'm very excited because normally, you know, we stay so in season, breaking down games, doing all this, that you don't have time to have those fun, pure off-season conversations about uniforms, lists, rankings, right? Stuff like that. So that's what we're going to do in the month of June. I mean, it's going to be basically the top 5 series. I'm going to do top 5 of everything you can think of relating to the Gamecocks. Tomorrow's show, top 5 most fun games or top 5 games to rewatch over the course of the offseason. We're going to do stuff from that, top 5 uniform combinations, home, away, and alternate. We're going to do top 5 for like every position you can ever think of, top 5 coaches, all around Gamecocks football. And if there's other news that comes up, certainly we'll talk about that recruiting news that could happen. But that's really how we're going to spend the month of June. Just purely football, off-season football content, which I think you guys will. I think we're going to have a lot of fun with it because it's a lot of fun to banter. It's a lot of fun to argue. It's a lot of fun to go back and forth. So that's what we're going to do. And that all starts tomorrow, June 1st. That starts tomorrow on tomorrow's podcast. And, of course, we'll still have interviews happening, all that good content, all that good stuff. You know, somebody, I feel like I'm thinking about it even more now. Somebody commented yesterday on YouTube that I live to adjust my hat, and I feel like I'm doing it more today now because I'm thinking about it. So if you keep seeing me grab my hat, because I do it a lot. I'm a big hat adjuster guy. I live for adjusting my hat. Anyways, this Lindy's Magazine. Nothing really crazy. Nothing really crazy, right? I don't think there's anything really crazy in here. They made their picks for the SEC. We'll start in the West. They've got Bama, shocker, winning the SEC West. Alabama winning the West. A&M in second. Arkansas in third. Ole Miss fourth. LSU fifth. Mississippi State sixth. Auburn seventh. So that's their West breakdown. Real quick, Hunter Herlong says top 5 head coaches or coaches in general. I mean, Hunter, how in the world am I going to rank top 5 position coaches in all history? Top 5 head coaches, Hunter. I get the question, but that what you're proposing would be so damn hard. It'd be like damn near impossible. Top 5 head coaches in school history for Carolina football. These are the picks for Lindy's, their magazine. SEC East. Shocker, shocker. They've got Georgia winning the SEC East. I don't think that's a hot take at all. In second, they have the Kentucky Wildcats finishing in second. I know many of you are cringing right now hearing that, but they've got Kentucky. They're high on Kentucky. They've got Kentucky ranked 25th in their preseason top 25. Finishing in third, they've got Dalton's favorite team, the Tennessee Volunteers, finishing third in the SEC East. Coming in fourth, y'all ready to get mad? In fourth, they've got the Florida Gators, finishing fourth in the conference, in the East, finishing fourth. In fifth, they've got the Gamecocks. South gun in the 5 spot. Missouri finishing sixth. And, of course, Vandy finishing in seventh. Now, going back to the Gamecocks, here's what they have to say because they have columns, good news, bad news, in our call. For South Carolina, it says, the good news, quarterback Spencer Rattler transferred from Oklahoma to improve weak quarterback play. Fair enough. The bad news, they say Gamecocks still lack overall depth and lost their top running back and defensive end to the draft. That's also fair. Their call, if Rattler plays well, Gamecocks will spring some upsets and improve on their 7-win record. So there you go. But yeah, Kentucky in the 2 spot. Connor McCormish says Florida above us is just mind-boggling. You know, Connor, though, why does everybody think Florida is going to be like a 4 or 5 win team? You know, I'm not saying Florida's going to be great. Far from it. But I'm just like not. Excuse me, they have Kentucky ranked 24th, by the way. They've got Tennessee ranked 26th, LSU 29th, Florida 31. Why does everyone think Florida is just going to be trashed? Like, I understand new coach, all this. Bro, they're still Florida. They're still Florida. Like, bro, one win over Florida. We beat Florida one time, and our fan base acts like Florida's Vanderbilt. It just seems crazy to me. Maybe they will suck. I don't know. Connor McCormick's Kentucky above Tennessee is mind-boggling. Yeah, a lot of folks are high on Kentucky. A lot of folks are high on Kentucky, my guy. I don't know. A lot of folks are high on Kentucky. So, let's see. Some interesting stuff in this Lindy's magazine. By the way, they've got the Gamecocks. You probably saw me posted on social media yesterday. They've got the Gamecocks ranked 45th in their preseason top 130. And, you know, I'm not even mad about it. I'm not even mad about it. We're disrespect. Guys, we got to go earn respect. We got to go earn respect. You want respect? Go get it. You want respect? Beat Arkansas week 2. You want respect? Go play Georgia down to the wire. You want respect? Go beat Kentucky on the road. You want respect? Beat Tennessee at home. You want respect? Take care of Mizzou and Vandy as you should. You want respect? Play A&M and Clemson tight. There are ways to gain respect, but respect is earned, not given, especially when you're the University of South Carolina and you have no history and tradition of winning. You have no history and tradition of being good. Tennessee and Florida, they get the benefit of the doubt because they've actually done it before. You know, I fall in that camp. I think of Florida. Everybody's so down on Florida. My thought process is, it's Florida. They're going to be good. I'm not saying they're going to challenge Georgia. I'm not saying they're going to win a national title, but they're Florida. Like, to pretend like they don't have good players is foolish. Why does Tennessee get the benefit of the doubt? Well, Tennessee's won a national championship before. It doesn't matter how long ago it was. They've done it, right? They've done it. And so folks believe that Tennessee can get back because at least they've done it before. Kentucky gets respect now. Why is Kentucky getting all this respect? Why is Kentucky getting all this love? Well, they've earned it. I mean, they just flat out earned it. They've beaten South Carolina like a drum 7 of the last 8 years. Kentucky and Carolina have flipped, guys, whether you like it or not. They flipped. South Carolina and Kentucky, the perception of those programs is flipped. And I hate it. It makes me want to throw up in my mouth, but it's true. It's true. The perception of those programs has changed. It's the opposite of what it used to be. And the only way to change that is to beat them. That's it. Go on a 5-game winning streak against Kentucky. You know, go beat them at their place. That's the only way to fix it. There's only one way. The solution is simple. Just go win. The solution's simple. Go win. That's it. That's it. So you can be upset we're not getting more respect. I think we're getting a lot of hype. I think we're getting a lot of love. That's why you don't get respect. I mean, Cody Branch says, I think South Carolina beats Kentucky like a drum this season. I hope to see it, Cody. I hope to see it. I'm glad you're confident as a Tennessee fan. But, you know, you know what's funny about that game, Cody? You know what's funny about that game? You ask, let me make sure my mic's good. I just bumped something. Okay, we're good. You ask any Gamecock fan, any of them, you ask any Gamecock fan, like we could go back and look at the series. South Carolina's lost 7 of the last 8 games to Kentucky. 7 of the last 8. Let that sink in. I'd ask Carolina fans, out of those last 7, how many of those games did Gamecock fans go into expecting to lose? Like, you know what? We're just not as good as them this year. They're going to beat us. I think for most, it's 0. That's what makes it so sickening, is 0. I think for most fans, even if Kentucky was favored, even if somebody like me said, hey, it's going to be a tough game. Kentucky, it's going to be a tough game. South Carolina fans, it doesn't compute that Kentucky is even a threat, and they are. I'm not saying Kentucky is a better program than South Carolina, but they're better than Carolina right now. They're better. They just are. As I told you, people went crazy on me for picking Kentucky to beat Carolina last year because I did. I forget the exact score. Let's see. Can I find it? Let's see if I can find it. Where is this? Why can I not find this? There we go. Yeah. I picked Kentucky to beat Carolina 30-24. I picked Kentucky to beat Carolina. But you want respect? It's there. It's there to be taken. Respect is there to be taken. Go get it. Go get it. That's it. Go get it. Lance says, all I want is to beat UK at their house. I just, guys, I'm a Gamecock fan. I'm not nearly as old as some of you, but I'm a seasoned Gamecock fan, and then I will not allow myself to get carried away with the hype. I mean, I'm excited to have hype. I'm excited to, is there a part of me internally that wants to be the preaching we're going to go 10-2 guy? Sure. Hey, my guy Cox by 90 is convinced we're going 3-0 to start the year. He's convinced. Right? He's convinced we're starting 3-0. Here's my messaging. This is where I fall on it. There's some people that are going to be on that side of it. We're going 3-0. We're going 9-3. We're going 10-2. There's some that are going to be doom and gloom. Oh, this is Carolina football. We're going to suck 5-7, 4-8. I'm right here. I'm right here in the middle for you all. I am the voice of perspective and of reason. And what I'm telling you is this: 7-5, 8-4, a great year, and don't freak out if the Gamecocks start 1-2. Don't kick in the season like it's over. Don't wave the white flag. Everything's still out there if you start 1-2. Because that's the scary part. If you hype up this 3-0, 3-0, 3-0, all this type of shit, and then you start 1-2, well, then what? So, we're not there yet. Carolina's not there yet, guys. And to think they're going to be there in year 2 of Beamer, they're not. We're not there yet. I tweeted it this morning. The line of scrimmage is still holding this team back. This team does not have the depth. They don't. They don't have the depth. We do not have the depth to challenge Georgia. We don't. That doesn't mean we can't upset them. That doesn't mean we can't pull an upset. But I don't think we have the depth. Often, here's what concerns me. We improved all across the offense. Offensive line is a major concern. Defensive line's a concern. Linebackers are a concern. Really, guys, here's what's crazy. Everybody is just acting like this defense is just a given. We're going to be dominant on defense. I saw Luke RJ this morning comment, we're a top 30 defense. And we very well may be, and I love Clayton White. But I'm concerned at all 3 levels. Believe it or not, I am concerned at all 3 levels. Defensive line, hey, we need Zach Pickens to be that dude in the middle. We need Boogie Huntley to take the next step. We need, what's his name, Nick Sanders or TJ Sanders or TJ Sanders and Nick Barrett. We need MJ Webb, some others on the interior to step up. We need a Terrell Dawkins from NC State to fill in the void that that JJ left. We need Jordan Strawn to be that dude, right? And I'm very high on Jordan Strawn. I think he's a very good player, and I think he quietly had a really, really good season last year. At linebacker, we need Sherrod Green to have his best season ever in Garnet and Black and stay healthy. We need Mo Kaba to be the guy we thought he could be in recruiting. We need Stone Blanton to play a lot as a freshman and be a good player. We know Cam Smith's good. I like Darius Rush's game. I don't think Darius Rush is an elite DB. I think he's solid. I'm worried about safety. Is Devontae Reed from Central Michigan? Is he ready to play at the SEC level? Is he going to be able to replace the big plays that Jalen Foster gave you at that position? Right? So I don't think the defense is just as simple as, Clayton White's still our defensive coordinator. We're just going to be dominant defensively. I got concerns at all three levels. Couldn't stop the run last year for shit. And now you lose your top interception guy. And you lose your top D end. Who steps up in those spots? I'm not trying to be doom and gloom. I'm just giving you the other side of the argument. Cody Gaskin says, what's more likely to happen? Starting 0-3 or 2-1 to start the year? Is Arkansas more of a for sure win over Georgia State being a game we could lose? God, Cody, you really want to see Gamecock fans? You want to see the worst side of Gamecock Twitter? Let's start 0-3. Shit, let's just lose to Georgia State. Cody, you want to see the worst side of Gamecock Twitter? Let's lose to Georgia State. My God. What's more? I think it's more likely we start 2-1. I think it's more likely we start 2-1. But again, hey, I'll tell you this. I don't want to get too far out ahead, but I will, because next month in July, right, we will start our opponent preview series, okay? And so I'm going to break all these teams down in depth. And so this is something you're going to hear me bring this up again. For sure. 1,000% you will. Because I'm going to talk Georgia State. We're going to bring this up the week of the game. I'm going to beat this into your heads. But people look at the line. Why is Carolina only an 11-point favorite against Georgia State? Well, here's why. Because I was reading up on Georgia State. Listen to this shit. This is a team that returns 4 or 5 offensive linemen. They return their top 2 ball carriers. And, hey, who remembers this name? KZ Adams is a true freshman coming from Gray Collegiate Academy, West Columbia. They said he looked really good in spring ball. But they return their top 2 rushers, right? Tucker Gregg and Jamias Williams. Jam Williams, my God. Jam Williams is one of their top 2 rushers. Isn't that some shit? I mean, isn't that something? Greg had 953 yards and Jamias Williams had 859. Another Muschamp project thing that didn't work. Both were in the top half of the league in rushing for their conference, right? What are they in? What are they in? What is this? The Sun Belt, right? Yeah, the Fun Belt. Okay. They were part of a ground attack that averaged 226.4 yards per game, which was 8th best in the country. What did we struggle with last year? Anybody got any answers? Oh, that's right. We struggled with stopping the run. They got a veteran linebacker back. Jordan Vinzale, 97 tackles, 4 sacks, first team all-conference. They got an all-conference safety back. Antavius Lane, 82 tackles and 4 picks. They've got a top DN and a linebacker. I mean, they got players. This is a team that's got ball players. They lost to Auburn by 10 points last year at their place. So there's a reason I think that's an 11-point spread. I think you look at the matchup specifically. Hey, Georgia State can run the football. Carolina struggles to stop it. First game for a new quarterback for South Carolina. Offensive line's a question. Honestly, I don't think the 11-point spread's all that crazy. Somebody asked about what's up with the noon kickoffs. I don't know, man. I love Arkansas at noon. I love that. Georgia at noon, I think what it tells you is maybe they don't expect us to be all that great. Maybe they expect us to get beat down by Arkansas. Maybe they expect us to lose that game in grand fashion. Heck, I don't know. I don't know. Cody Branch says if South Carolina can at least slow down the run, they will get beat bad by Arkansas and KJ Jefferson. Oh, indeed, yeah. Got to stop the run, got to limit the quarterback run game. Connor McCormish, it could be game day, though. I think that's why they put it at noon. Game day for a noon game. That just doesn't seem like, Connor, that adds up. I mean, here's the thing, because Connor, for example, listen, I would love College Game Day to be on campus for Georgia. I mean, my God, you talk about content. You talk about opportunities for content, right? You talk about, I mean, I'd love that. Would love that more than anything. Would love that. You got to take care of Arkansas first, my guy. You got to take care of Arkansas first, my guy. I mean, Arkansas is not just going to be some. I mean, you got to beat Arkansas first. Jacob Edwards says a successful season to me is winning the games we're favored in, and maybe stealing one or two that we aren't favored in. Well, in that scenario, we'd probably be a 6 to 7 win team, Jacob. 6 to 7 win. Because, I mean, we're only going to be a favorite in 5 or 6 games. 6 maximum. Truly 6. At least right now, looking at it right now, 6 maximum. 6 maximum. So, I mean, so you're agreeing with me then that an 8-4 year would be a phenomenal year and it'd be a successful year, which I think you should 1,000,000% be the mentality. Like, I said this months ago. And I just, it blows my, I've had this convo with people outside of this show, presenting the hypothetical I presented you all about, would you, in a hypothetical world, I'll give you 8-4. You can either sign up for that, sign on the dotted line, or you can roll the dice. The amount of people that would roll the dice, I mean, it's shocking. It's shocking. Bro, I would take 8-4 right now in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat. You could take all of the drama out of the season and tell me exactly which games will win and lose. I'd still take 8-4. You'd be crazy not to take it. You'd be insane. You should be thrown in the loony bin if you wouldn't take 8-4. I mean, bro, like 8-4 would be almost a dream season this year. It'd be a dream season. But there's many that, dude, many. Let's not pretend. There's many that wouldn't take it. I was shocked. I'm still shocked at it. I'm still shocked. Because I think picking this team to go 9-3 or better is a pipe dream. I'm sorry. I think it is. I think it's a pipe dream. I also don't think this is going to be a 5-7 or worse team. I don't see that. I think this is a team that, you know, is going to fall right in that 6 to 7 win range, maybe 8. 8 would be great. Thomas Walker, here's the question. Would you take 8-4 right now for the next 3 years or roll the dice? Thomas Walker, you know what's bad? I'd take 8-4 for the next 3 years. I would. And you know why I say that, Thomas? You know, hear me out. You know why I say that? If we go 8-4, 8-4, 8-4, bro, we are building a great program. We're building the program, no doubt, no doubt. We are building a fan. And hey, here's the thing, Thomas. Here's the thing. What did I say? What does success look like for Carolina football? What does success look like? Over the course of a decade, If Shane Beamer can average 8 wins per year, if he can average 8 wins per year over the course of a decade, every 3 to 4 years, we either got the right quarterback, we're a veteran team, the schedule breaks in our favor, down year for the East, whatever it is, whatever the situation, we contend for Atlanta. But average 8 wins per year over the course of a decade, what Gamecock fan who has any sense wouldn't take that? Bro, I'd sign up for 8-4 for the next 3 seasons consecutively in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat. And dude, I respect those that wouldn't. I respect those that wouldn't because you are the eternal optimist. And I'm not saying I'm not an optimist too. But I think the other reason I would, Thomas, is this is year 2. So you're asking me, would I take 8-4 in years 2, 3, and 4? Yes. Because I didn't expect to win an SEC title by year 3. I didn't expect to win an SEC title by year 4. If you went 8-4, 8-4, 8-4, bro, you are earning that respect that I talked about. You're gaining respect. You are. And it goes back to my conversation too that, man, college football fans, their sanity would be a lot more together if 98% of fan bases just came to realize that's what you're playing. You're playing for an 8-4 year. 8-4 is a great season. I mean, anything more than that is a dream. Truly. It's a dream. Pretending like 9 or 10 wins is our birthright is crazy. It's crazy. Until we get to that level, it's crazy. I'd take 8-4 for the next 3 seasons. But see, here we go. Luke RJ. I'd sign up for 8-4 this year, but I would like to see Beamer improve each season 9-3 and then 10-2. That's the scary method of thinking. That is a terrifying way of thinking, Luke. And I'm not coming at you, but I'm just saying, even look at this season. Even look at this season. Because we won X last year, well, we got to win Y this year. And if we win Y this year, we got to win Z next year. It just doesn't work that way. It just does not work that way. I mean, Luke RJ, I'm looking way ahead, right? I don't even know what this roster is going to look like. But Luke RJ, I could argue next year's team is going to be much worse than this year's team. Much worse. We might take a step back next year. You lose Rattler. Bell will be gone. Cam Smith will be gone. There's Josh Van will be gone. There's no Garrett. Stogner will be gone. Basically, your whole O-line will be gone. There's no guarantee next year's team is going to be better. So we might take a step back next year. I'm way too far to look at that far ahead, or way too soon to look that far ahead. But we might. So almost to your point, Luke RJ, is it better for Shane Beamer to go 6-6 again? Or go 7-5 so he's not setting these crazy expectations in year 3, year 4? Because fans, like you said, they don't want to go backwards. They don't want to go backwards. Nobody wants to go backwards. That's why I'm saying if you were to sustain 8-4 3 straight years, bro, you're building a hell of a program. I mean, you're building one hell of a program. You're attracting top talent doing that. You are. You're attracting the type of players you need to build competitive depth. You're attracting those players, you know? Jack Harrington says it's because whenever we expect a good year, we get let down. Personally, I would like to roll the dice, but only because I would kill to see us compete in the SEC. Like, Jack, but what are you talking about? I'm giving you 8 wins, Jack. Jack, I am giving it to you. You're going to go 8-4, Jack. 5-3 in the league. 5-3 in the league. Jack, you don't want to take 5-3 in the league. Come on, Jack. Come on. You think we're going to go better than 5-3 in the league? This is why this combo is so much fun. The beauties and the banter, as I say before. I love the disagreeing, the back and forth. I feel like a beaten, battered, and bruised Gamecock. And I know I'm not as much as some of you who have been Gamecocks since the 80s, the 70s. Some of my old heads out there, shout out to you. Some of my old heads, shout out the old heads. Y'all been through it far worse than I ever have. Let's jump to the phone
Call
lines here.
from
Justin,
Justin, what's up, man? How are you?
you're good. You doing okay, Chris?
I'm doing great, man. Thanks for asking. What's going on?
No, I'm gonna say, Chris. I was watching the Cars 64 for yesterday. Man, Auburn got a tough bracket. You know, Chris.
Yeah, you talking about the regionals? Yeah, they do. Yeah, there's some really fun regionals, man. I tell you that Texas A&M got a tough draw with TCU and some others. So yeah, there's some very intriguing brackets for sure. I can't wait for the weekend.
Yeah, me too, Chris. And think about Auburn's bracket. It says you gotta be careful with anybody in that bracket, you know, because you definitely want to advance, you know.
Oh yeah, dude. Hey, and that's the beauty of the postseason, man. Just anybody can beat anybody. It's all about who plays their best ball and who gets hot. Who gets hot at this time of year?
Oh yeah. Yep. And Chris, if you look at Tennessee, man, they got some fast pace, you know.
Yeah, dude. Tennessee is they're for real, man. They're for real. They're for real for sure. You just
oh, yeah.
what are their deficiencies? You know, what are their deficiencies? They really don't have any. So.
Oh yeah. And Chris, the thing about Tennessee is, look, they had covered a lot of things. They won the East, they won the SEC, and they hope to win the College World Series. You know.
Yeah, I mean, listen, they're the best team in college baseball. Simply put, they're the best team in college baseball. The only question is, will they be playing their best baseball when it matters most? Like I said, in Omaha, but I don't think anyone is going to look back on this season, whether they win it all or not. They're the best team in college baseball. Again, whether they win it or not is yet to be determined, but they are the best team in college baseball. Top to bottom, pitching depth, the lineup, I mean, all of it. They've got it.
Oh yeah. And Chris, I look at soccer baseball, man. Why should we go after somebody who's young and dead, you know?
Yeah, we need a new coach, Justin, for sure. We need a new guy. But you know, there's no point even discussing it, man. Kingston's he's back, and that's all it is. So.
Oh yeah, and Chris, you look at young coach baseball. They lead their teams like Omaha every year, you know.
I know, man. Yeah, no, I know. It's I'm ready to get back to that point where we're going to Omaha, or just even going to the Super Regionals would be nice. But yep, it's going to be, you know, it's going to be brutal. It's going to be brutal watching watching everybody else play in, but whatever.
Yeah, and Chris, I gotta look at World College baseball. And Chris, you know who's been at baseball for a long time is Arkansas coach Devin Ho.
Yeah, no, for sure, man. So I'm excited to watch all the baseball this postseason. It's gonna be a ton of fun.
Oh yeah. Well, Chris, before I got here, man, hey Chris, I go watch the eBay Finals because the Boston Golden State it's still out, you know.
Hold on, say the what now?
Are you watching the eBay Finals? Golden State and Boston?
Oh yeah, no, for sure, dude, for sure. I might catch some of it. You know, I'm not a huge basketball guy, at least NBA wise. But I guess that gets start. What does that start tonight, or does that start later in the week?
It starts Thursday and then it goes to like Sunday.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah, I'll probably catch a couple of games.
Yeah, me too, Chris. Hey, Chris, I don't know if Boston gonna start going to State because Derek Carter, he's a beast.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, those two teams against each other. I know our good buddy Mike Uva is going to be very invested because he's a Boston guy. So it should be a fun series.
Oh yeah, it should be. And Chris, like you said, you look at. Did you know that guy played for Duke? J.C. Taylor. He's a good basketball player.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, they're all really good.
Oh yeah. Well, Chris, that's it, man.
Justin, I appreciate you, my guy. It's always a pleasure chatting with you.
You too, my brother. Take care, my friend.
Yeah, man. Take care. We'll talk soon. Great stuff from Justin as always, guys. 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. We are here live, kicking it, taking your questions, your comments, your calls. Hunter Herlong, what's going on? Appreciate you tuning in. Guys, we are going to jump into our first break. The conversation's rolling as we're talking South Carolina football heavily. Going through this Lindy's preseason sports magazine. Last day of May. Baseball's over. I mean, it's time, man. 95 days to kickoff. Time to move on to football. Guys, again, we're going to jump into this break, but I want to continue to hear from you. More of your questions, comments, calls, and more on the other side. You're tuned in to the Daily Crow. All right, guys, we're back. Taking your questions, comments, calls. 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. I see you guys talking about rolling the dice, wanting more than 8 wins. Listen, I want more too. I want to get back to what Spurrier had us at also, but there's got to be somebody. Somebody's got to be out there that's going to reel y'all in and say, no. We're not an 11-win team. We're not a 10-win team yet. We're not there. We're just not there. So, and guys, I'll go out on a limb and say, as much as you might hate to hear it, I don't think South Carolina will ever have that type of success again. Not 3 straight 11-win seasons. I don't see it. Spurrier did something that was hard to fathom. It's still hard to fathom. It had never been done. I don't foresee it probably happening. Not to that level. Not to that level. I hope so. I hope I'm wrong, but realistically, if I had to predict, you know what I mean? If I had to go on record, is it going to happen? I'd say no. But that doesn't mean we can't, again, build a program where we're winning 8 to 9 games a year, and every now and then we're reaching those type of heights. Travis says Spurrier spoiled us. To a degree, yeah, to a degree he did. 11, 12, 13 was magical. I mean, it was really, truly magical. And he spoiled us in the way that, I honestly I did for a little bit. I did take it for granted a little bit. They're like, okay, we're just good now. We're going to be good. This is Carolina football now. This is the reality of Carolina. We're good. And, just goes to show you how fragile it is. And when you got it good, enjoy it. Enjoy it. By the way, guys, speaking of Lindy's, going back to this Lindy's magazine, they talked primary strengths and potential problems for Carolina. Here's what they said. Primary strengths. Even though Rattler wasn't at his best in 2021, he's proven he can be a dynamic quarterback in major college football. He has a group of playmakers around him at the skill position. Smith's one of the best cover guys in college football. The Gamecocks have veterans along the point of attack defensively. Yeah. Potential problems. Each spot on the offensive line is manned by a full-time starter from a previous year, but the Gamecocks were far from great up front last season. Yeah, no kidding. Safety's a big question mark, and so is the depth at defensive end. So, I think all that's pretty fair in their analysis of our football team. I think that's pretty fair. Let's see. Anyways, guys, we are taking your questions, your comments, your calls. 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. We're talking Lindy's preseason magazine. I think baseball conversation is pretty much in the rear view now. I think for the most part, baseball combos in the rear view. Like the clip I posted this morning about expectations and that's probably going to be the last baseball clip I post for quite a while, because I know you guys don't want to talk baseball anymore. And there's really no baseball to be talked. There's no baseball to be had. Truly. So let's see. Let's see. Thomas Walker says, anybody want to talk about how bad Kingston is? Do we really, Thomas, need to be the dead horse, my guy? Do we need to keep going in on it? Tyler Gay, why don't you think we'll have that kind of success again, Chris? And let's keep it very, let's be very clear what I said. The type of success where we go 11-2, 11-2, 11-2, I just think it's really hard to win, man. I think that, you think about it, right? Think about this, Tyler Gay. You go back, I think it was we were one of 4 teams to win 11 games or more over the course of that 3-year stretch. It's not something that just happens. It's not something that, even the best teams have an off year and don't win 11. You know what I mean? But I just think the SEC is extremely competitive, and it's really, really hard to win at that level and to sustain it. Getting there is one thing. Sustaining it is another. Sustaining it's another. And, call it for what it is. And I'm taking the fandom out. I'm taking the rivalry out. But any Clemson fan has to be able to admit it is easier to build and sustain a program of that level in the ACC than it is in the SEC. So that's why, like, when we had these hypothetical conversations, right, where, I say, should South Carolina never have joined the SEC? Should South Carolina, would they be better off in the ACC? Well, people just lose their collective shit, right? They're just, oh my God, how could you ever say such a thing? But when you look at it from the perspective of building a program, and Clemson was not a great team last year and won 10 games. NC State has average teams and they go 8-4 with ease. Like, you got to be a really good football team to go 7-5 in the SEC. Like, you really do. And I'm not trying to overhype the SEC and be that beating the chest SEC guy, but it's just true. It's the best football. It's the best ball. What is it, like 12 of the last 16 national titles belong to the SEC? So I just think when you're talking about sustaining that level of success, Tyler, I'm not saying Carolina football can't be successful, but going 11-2, 3 straight years, I mean, that is, I don't know that we ever see that again. I think what Spurrier did, I mean, guys, let me ask you this. We're trying to snap a streak right now against Clemson. The 5-game winning streak we had against Clemson. Does that ever happen again? Hey, I'll take it a step further. Let's go beyond when is the next time Carolina beats Clemson? Is it this year? Is it next year? When's the next time Carolina wins 3 in a row against Clemson? There's 3 in a row. Or it might not happen for 30 years. I mean, I'm not even bullshitting. It might not. I don't know. I hope it does. But I don't know. Beating Clemson once seems like a mountain to climb at this point. So, let's see. Chris Miller, I feel like in the SEC East, we need to get to the point where we beat Vandy, Mizzou, and Kentucky year in and year out, where we are battling for Tennessee and Florida for the second spot behind Georgia. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Cody, what's going on? Appreciate you tuning in. But yeah, that's a good way to put it. It's a very good way to put it. Yeah, you gotta, everybody wants to beat Georgia. Everybody wants to beat Tennessee. We need to beat Kentucky. Carolina will not be even, like, we shouldn't even be having the conversation about the East. Shouldn't even be thinking about winning 9 games until we beat Kentucky. Again, people talk about why aren't we getting respect? Go beat Kentucky. You've lost 7 of 8 to Kentucky. What respect do we deserve? What respect do we deserve? Allen says, let's say we surprise the SEC and win the East. We don't win the title but beat Clemson. We then take a hit next year, winning only 7 games. Would you take it? Allen, you're asking me would I take winning the SEC East? Yeah. Yeah. Sign me up for winning the East and then dropping back to 7 wins next year. Yeah. Gladly would take it. It ain't going to happen, but I'd gladly take it. Tyler Gay, I hope you're right, my guy. I hope you're right. Jeff Gullidge, do you believe in the CBS Game of the Week curse? I'm really surprised the SC Arkansas game didn't make it for the Game of the Week. Week 2, when we are the best SEC game of that week. Not that that matter, just seems weird. No, I don't believe in curses when we play. It doesn't really matter to me. Jake Edwards says it's unfortunate, but Clemson has their own brand and will continue to compete for ACC titles, even with not so great teams. They will most likely continue to recruit at a high level, given their win totals will be high. ACC just isn't tough enough to bring them down. I mean, yeah, I would say that until Miami, Vatech, Florida State, until those teams figure it out and get it together, Clemson's going nowhere. I mean, that's why, guys, like, all I've heard all preseason from many of you is how bad Clemson is and how bad they're going to be. Guys, do you realize Clemson is ranked 4th in this Lindy's preseason top 130? They're ranked 4th. What are we talking? They're all of a sudden they're down. They're ranked 4th. 4th. What happened? I thought the dynasty was over. They're ranked 4th. They're ranked 4th. So I'm probably picking, like, I'm going to make national picks. I'm going to make playoff picks. I'm probably picking Clemson to win the ACC. I'm not buying this NC State hype. NC State's got to go to Clemson. I mean, do we really want to spend time on the show today talking Clemson? Do we want to do that? Are we doing that? I mean, who's Clemson losing to? At Wake Forest is a tough game. They'll beat NC State at home. I don't even have a question. At FSU could be interesting. At Notre Dame, that's a tough one. Miami at home the week before Carolina. But, I mean, they're a 10-2, I think, worst case. I think they're a 10-2 worst case. Probably 11. They'll go 11-1. They'll lose a game. You realize 3 of their 4 defensive linemen are first-team All-Americans? Do you realize that? Isn't that insane? Just looking at this. Their D-line ranks number 1 in the country in the position unit rankings. Linebackers rank 6th. I remember, by the way, getting the preseason magazines back in like 2013, 2012, and seeing us ranked in the top whatever in the position unit rankings. It was so much fun, dude. That was so much fun. It really was. Really was. It was a good time. Cody, congratulations on everything to you, my guy. Cody Gaskin says Clemson loses to NC State and Notre Dame, possibly Wake and Syracuse. Cody, come on. I think that's wishful, my guy. I love it. I think it's wishful, though. I don't think they're going to lose to NC State for a second straight year. They got them at home. Wake could be tough. I could see that upset happening. I hope they lose every game. I hope they lose by 100 every game. Anyways, guys, taking your questions, your comments, your calls. 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. Yeah, Brennan, I know NC State's legit. I understand. NC State is the darling this year. NC State's getting a lot of love. They've got Miami 14th, by the way. Wake Forest 18th. NC State coming in at 15th. 18 of 22 starters are back. Right? 18 of 22 starters are back. We'll see. Excuse me, 17 starters are back. 7 on offense, 9 on defense. Cody Branch says Clemson will lose at least 3 games because their quarterback sucks ass. I mean, fair. That's a fair take. So, okay, let me ask you this then. Let me ask you this. Since y'all think Clemson's going to suck this year, let me ask you this. Is there a chance in your mind Carolina finishes with a better overall record than Clemson this season? Could it happen? Could the Gamecocks go 9-3 and Clemson go 8-4? Is that even possible? Is that even possible? Is it possible? And I'll ask you this. Why not? Let's talk about it. What chances do you give Carolina to beat Clemson this year? Just flat out. As simple as can put. What type of chance do you give the Gamecocks to beat Clemson? Cody, you were just talking about Clemson's going to lose 4 games. You just said Clemson's going to lose 4 games, my guy. So you're acting like it's some crazy question. I thought it was fair off what you said. Cody thinks Clemson's going 7-5. Anyways, I'm excited next month to start talking predictions and stuff like that because I in case you guys didn't realize, again, we're spending the month of June doing our off-season content, talking a lot of fun off-season stuff you don't normally discuss. But in July, the week of July 4th, we will take July 4th off, which is on a Monday, and then Wednesday, and then Friday. That's when I'll drop my predictions. So I'll lock in my predictions July 6th and July 8th. Is when you guys will know exactly my game-by-game predictions, how I think Carolina's going to fare in this 2022 season. So, and it'll be full scores, everything. Full scores and everything. So, yep. I'm looking forward to that. That's always a fun time, man. Just when we really, really start diving into the preseason content and getting into that. Also, guys, I want to mention this really quick. For those who are on YouTube, if you want to support the business through YouTube, you can through Super Chat and Super Stickers. I appreciate you guys. Also, we have a Venmo, we have PayPal, all that good stuff. Yours truly is moving, and there are moving expenses that come with that. So, hey, if you want to give yours truly an early Christmas present or show some love and support the business, you can do so through our Venmo, our PayPal, Cash App, whatever. If you guys want to donate, or if you just want to join the Big Cock Club, or if you just want to buy merch, whatever way you want to do so, there's many ways to support the business. And I truly, truly, truly appreciate you all, man. Your love and support means the absolute world. Robbie Davis texting in. No call from Robbie today. He says, it's Robbie. I just want to say I would 1,000% take the 8-4 the next 3 years. People that won't take that are crazy. Go Gamecocks. Appreciate you, Robbie. Travie, only way to shut Clemmy up is to beat them. Yeah, I mean, that's a given. That's a given, my guy. That's a given. You want respect, go get it. It's not hard to get it. You just got to go win. That's it. TL Melly says, I think if we can make it past Arkansas in week 2, our season will be a great one, maybe 9-3 or 10-2. That's my bold prediction. God, can you imagine if Carolina went 10-2? Can you imagine in Beamer's second year if they went 10-2? Can you fathom that? Can you really fathom that? Let's jump to the lines here.
Call from
Robbie Davis, a.k.a. Kirk Herbstreit.
What's up, Kirk? How are you?
Nothing much, Steve Philly. How are you?
I'm doing well. You know, people think Kirk Herbstreit's a Clemson fan. Did you know that? I never thought about that until just now.
Football at Ohio State, right?
Do you know that his sons go to Clemson?
Yes, I know that.
I'm not trying to ruin your nickname. That just dawned on me. I don't know. Either way, we'll excuse it.
Yeah,
go ahead,
I knew
Robbie.
That, but I knew that his sons go to Clemson. But
I'm a fan of Kirk Herbstreit, by the way. I like Kirk. I got no problems with Kirk Herbstreit.
Oh, I love Kirk. I love it. I love Kirk. I do. Yeah. Like I said in the text I just sent you, people that won't take a 8-4 season the next 3 years, y'all are crazy. I would take a 8-4 season the next 10 years.
Next
As long
10
as
years.
we just keep, yeah. I don't care. I don't care. Just win. I don't give a crap. Because like you've said, and like a lot of other people have said, and like I've said, we do not have a very, very spectacular history whenever it comes to football. Okay, we don't. And I feel like some people they don't accept the fact that we used to be not great at football, but we weren't very, very good at all.
Let me just, you put it very eloquently, which I tip my cap to you, but like straight up, like anybody tuned in or anybody in general, like if you were a Gamecock fan in the 90s, like if you endured the 90s, that entire decade, bro, you should get a medal for enduring that, because Carolina football in the 90s was dog shit. I mean, it was bad, bro. I mean, granted, some great players. Love those guys. Those teams sucked. Those teams sucked.
Yes, they did.
Like, they were so bad.
If I remember correctly, and correct me if I'm wrong, okay, because in Lou Holtz's first year, we did not win a single game. We went 0-11.
Like, hold on. Can you I can't even see. I was 8 years old. I don't remember that shit. I didn't go through that. I can't even fathom pulling for a team that went 0-11. The embarrassment, the shame, the disgust. I can't even fathom it. Continue.
Yeah. We there have been times where there has been a time where we did not win not one single game the entire year. So that's one of the reasons to why I personally would take an 8-4 season the next 3 years. Because if you go through 3 seasons with only four losses the next 3 years, that's only 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. That's 12. That's only 12 losses. If
right.
My math is correct on that one.
8-4 over a how long period? 3 years?
Over a 3-year period.
Yeah, it's 12 losses. Yeah.
So you'll have 12 losses.
You'd be 24-12 over 3 years.
I'll take that.
I'd gladly take that. Yeah.
I would 1,000% take that. Okay. And I'm switching here, so I don't want to get over you. I don't want to make you get confused.
No, you're fine.
But as far as like basketball goes, I just want to see us compete on it. Okay. Mm-hmm. Make teams actually work to get the W, because last year we got our brains beat in from start to finish.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just with any sport, not just basketball. Like just make them earn it. Okay? Make them, if they're going to beat you, make them have to work for it. Don't just come in and be all woe is me after a loss and just play like straight garbage, okay? If it was me personally, I hated losing whenever I played sports. I hated it so much. Oh, I hated losing. I didn't want to talk to nobody. I didn't want to be bothered. No. I hated it. It made me the next week practice even harder. It made me want to. The next team that we played, I was like, they're going to have to daggum kill me to get a yard. Okay. That's what I went in. I went into the game that following week like they're going to have to kill me to get a yard. Break my legs. stab me, do whatever they needed to. They were gonna have to kill me, Chris, to get a yard. And we got to play. I feel like we need to play with that kind of mentality. Is like in order for you to score, you're going to have to kill us to get a score. Not literally kill them, but I mean like mentally and you know what
Robbie,
I mean.
I get what you're saying, Robbie.
Okay.
I don't take you for the murderer type. So
No. I wouldn't want to kill anybody at all whatsoever. No. No. But and like I said the other day, just win. Everything else will fall into place and take care of itself. The only thing that we need to focus on is winning. But where what people kind of struggle with, I feel like sometimes, is everybody is trying to win. Okay, winning is not easy. Okay, and also like I've said before, and you mentioned this several minutes ago, getting to where we want to be is one thing, and staying there is a complete another. Okay. Yes, those 11 and 2 seasons, yeah, we'll probably never see those again. Okay. But one thing I want to see personally is I want to see us compete against teams that people normally don't give us a chance against. Okay. I want to see us compete in those games and absolutely crush the teams that we're supposed to kick the snot out of, like Vanderbilt and Georgia State and South Carolina State. And I want to get back to beating the Citadel again, okay? If we ever do play the Citadel again, okay? We need to get back to that. Beating teams we're supposed to beat, pulling off the occasional upset, and showing people and showing recruits that, hey, you can win at South Carolina. And I feel like, and I've said this before too, I think Beamer is slowly but surely doing that, is showing that you can recruit and you can win at South Carolina. And I feel like recruits are seeing that.
Indeed. I think Beamer's doing a fantastic job, Robbie.
And I still stand by my statement from a few days ago. If the offense doesn't work this year, I will help Satterfield move his crap out of his office. So,
you have been warned, Marcus. You have been warned.
Yes, you have. And I don't live far from Columbia either. I'll be there faster than you can say, holy crap. So, and I really do think at some point, might not be this year, might not be next year, but at some point, our offensive line is going to be as good as we've seen it. It was like the 3 years we went 11-2, we had some pretty darn good offensive line. Okay, and I'm gonna use an analogy. Hopefully, I don't screw it up. building a football team is like building a big work office or what have you. You know, you don't put the steel down first, and you don't put the windows, you don't put the doors, you don't put the elevators. You start with the foundation first, and then you start adding all that stuff. What do you do? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I feel like Beamer is doing that, and I think sooner rather than later we'll start winning more games, and that's it. That's all I got.
Yeah, I think you build it, you lay the foundation, you recruit, get good players, build your culture, and the wins will follow. That is the plan, at least.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the plan. But like I said, like I also said, everybody else is trying to win too, so it's going to be difficult. So,
hey, it's everybody wants to win, man. It's a lot more fun than losing. So.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's 100% more fun. But all right, man, I'm gonna get off of here.
All right,
Have
brother.
a great rest of your day and try and stay cool.
Yeah, man. We'll do the damn thing.
All right.
All right, brother.
Bye-bye.
We'll talk soon. Robbie Davis, always a legendary call. Guys, we're going to jump into a quick break, but I want to continue to hear from you. More of your questions, comments, calls, and more. On the other side, you're tuned in to the Daily Crow. All right, what's up, guys? We're back. Taking your questions, comments, calls. 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. Again, appreciate Robbie calling in. Want to continue to hear from you. Jeff Gullidge says, for the record, we went 1-10 in 98, 0-11 in 99. Those are some bad years. Yeah, I recall it very well. We had a 21-game losing streak. Again, I've talked to guys on my show that were on those teams. And like I said before, man, if you were – I mean, I was 8 years old, right? So I didn't know what the heck was going on. Fandom did not really click for me until I was about 11 or really when I was 12. So end of 2002, beginning of 2003, that's when it like really clicked what it all meant. So my first Carolina Clemson rivalry game, 63-17. That was my first one ever. So let's jump to the phone lines here.
Call from
Dave Garrett.
Dave, what's up, man? How are you?
I'm doing fine. How about yourself?
I'm doing well, man. Appreciate you asking. What's going on?
Man, you just don't know. You're talking about the 0 and 11. That season that we had to put up the whole time with parties saying after a Gamecock win, come by for such and such. Man, that New Mexico game, the first in Holtz's second year, when we beat New Mexico State, about half of Section 902 said, let's go to Hardee's. And the bitch was closed when we got there. Second thing I wanted to tell you is if Robbie takes you to Duke's Barbecue in Orangeburg, make sure you go by the old Pepsi plant. There's more than one Duke's in Orangeburg. And then the last thing I got to go over with you is I had a question. Maybe as it gets closer to the season starting, if you could kind of coach some people up about football before the season starts, because there may be women and men that don't really know what an X, Y, and Z route is, or know what the difference between a Sam, Will, or a Mike. Just throwing that out there. Maybe you could help some people realize it and enjoy it a little bit more. Take care of yourself, man, and I'll talk to you later.
Dave, I appreciate that. Yeah, that's a I didn't think about that. That's a good idea. That's a good idea. Kind of walking through the X's and O's a little bit more and just what it all means as we get closer to football season. I keep hearing about Duke's Barbecue, man. I need to go try it. I'm hearing some really, really good things about Duke's Barbecue. So we're going to have to make that happen. So. My dude just made a hole in one. How about that? Anyways. Yeah, I'm going to have to try it. One of these days. How far is it from Cola? Like 45 minutes? I just need to like one day commit. You know what I mean? Like just take a day. Hey, we're going in the off season, right? We're going to take some time off from the Daily Crow. So why not? Yeah, guys, looking at the schedule. So I have not made it for sure. Here, let's jump back to the phone lines here.
Call from
Robbie Davis, a.k.a. Kirk Herbstreit.
Robbie, what's up, man?
I just wanted you to know the Duke's Barbecue that he was talking about, that's the one that I was going to take you to.
Gotcha. Okay. I keep hearing about it. Hey,
So,
you got Palmetto Pig to compete against, so I don't know, my man. I'm a Palmetto Pig guy, so I will not hold back if I think it's not as good as Palmetto Pig. I'm just going to let you know.
Hey, that's one thing I love about you. You don't sugarcoat it. You tell the truth. But yeah, I just wanted to clarify. That's the one the one by the old pepper plant. That's the one.
Gotcha.
That's the best one in Orangeburg, in my opinion.
The Oberg, love it.
But that's the one.
Beautiful.
As a matter of fact, I might go get some Duke's Barbecue the weekend before I go to camp.
You should. Never a bad time to get some barbecue. Never a bad time.
Nope. But yeah, I just wanted to clarify that. So, all right, man.
Robbie, appreciate it, my guy.
I will talk to you tomorrow.
Yeah, man. Sounds good. We'll talk soon. Great stuff from Robbie. Always a pleasure when you hear from Robbie twice. Let's see. Let's see here. It's very interesting. We got some folks tuned in that endured the 90s and a little bit older, more experienced Carolina fans. And then we got a couple guys that Spurrier was their fandom. Like experiencing the Spurrier years was their fandom. Their fandom like started in 2009. It's kind of interesting how that the differing scopes, right? I mean, for if you grew up, think about it. If you grew up on Spurrier, like say like you were in, I mean, I kind of grew up on Spurrier. I only really had 2 years of Holtz. And then when I was a freshman in high school, that was Spurrier's first season when I was a freshman in high school. So, I mean, I kind of grew up on Spurrier too. So I didn't experience the 90s. I mean, just the 90s as a whole, dude. The 90s as a whole, whew. I mean, you look at the 90s. Let's look at the 90s here. 6-5, 3-6-2, 5-6, 4-7, 7-5, 4-6-1, 6-5, 5-6, 1-10, 0-11. That was the 90s. So we want to combine what? Let's see. 9-2, 14, 15-2. This is going to be too hard. This is going to be too difficult. 6, 12, 16, 23, 27. 41 wins. Somebody keep that in mind. 41 wins, 21, 27, 32, 38, 43, 50, 56, 62, 67. So 41 and 67. 41, 67, and 2. That was the record in the 90s. 41, 67, and 2.
Luke RJ.
Good God.
To accept, press.
Luke RJ, what's up, man? How are you?
I'm good, man. This show's got me a little fired up today. It's talking about the records and just everything that's been talked about today, man.
It's we're moving into football, man. I think that's what it is. We're just moving into football. So, love it.
I mean, first thing, let me cover the 90s. You talking about the bad or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I've probably been in Williams-Brice Stadium easily over 100 times, 100 games easily. And I grew up going to 1 to 20 years old, and at least one home game every year. So it really wasn't all that bad. I mean, those games, I just remember having fun at the stadium, man. It was a party, you gather with friends and everything, but that's beside the point. I witnessed all those years, in the 90s. But I want to clarify what I was talking about with the 8-4. You asked, would someone say, would you take 8-4 3 years in a row? Like the next 3 years. And this is the reason why I would. I would take 8-4. Next year, I would think that we would need to win maybe 9. And then, when you start getting the 10 wins, that's when, it becomes really difficult to win that many. But here's what I'm thinking. South Carolina has been good when we had good coaches. Muschamp, bad coach. Okay, but we had Lou Holtz and we had Spurrier. We were top 25 teams. Okay, and so all this stuff about the program and the history and stuff. When we've had good coaches, granted we've only had probably 2, but when we had those good coaches, like Beamer says, we can win here and we can get it done and win. So the reason.
Luke RJ, you're cutting out, my guy. You just make sure your service is good. You're cutting out. I said you're cutting out a little bit, my guy. I want to make sure we hear all this. You're cutting out a little bit.
Okay, I'm not sure how I can
All right,
make it any better.
yeah,
but
you're good. I hear you now. You're good. You're good. I don't know what happened.
all right. So what I'm thinking, if Beamer can win 7 games with Muschamp leftover recruits and all the people that transferred, and we barely won those games, but we still won 7. And I'm just thinking, you can't tell me that in my opinion, that all these new recruits that he's getting from his recruiting classes, aren't going to continually make the team better. And then, those players are going to grow up from when he brought in here, and then we're going to reload. And it's just, and, let me just get your thoughts on what I've said so far.
I mean, yeah, the goal and the expectation is we're going to get better. I don't think anybody's expecting or hoping we're going to get worse, especially like you're mentioning as he brings in his recruits and, again, lays the foundation and builds the culture up. I think the expectation is, again, we are going to get better. I think that, some losses hurt more than others. So, for example, going into next year, I mean, he's going to get another recruiting class and he's going to go to the portal, but, I mean, it's going to be a huge void to replace Spencer Rattler. We're going to be right back to square one at quarterback. So that could take us back. I mean, it's so tough to say year to year, but no, yeah. I mean, and to your point, we won under Holtz, who was a good coach. I know it kind of fell off, but I think Holtz walked so Spurrier could run. When we've had good coaches, good things have happened. And Spurrier was the next one that kind of took us to the next hump that showed us what's possible. And so now the hope is that, yeah, Beamer's we at least know it's possible. If nothing else, we know it's possible. It's possible. Will Beamer be the guy to get it back to that level? I don't know, because he's not Steve Spurrier. Steve Spurrier's a legend, a national champion, a Hall of Famer. So I don't know if Beamer, but it is possible. And who better than a guy who was on that staff when they went to the SEC championship? So, no, I think everything you've said it's valid thus far. Yeah.
Well, I do think Beamer is the guy, and I think he knows exactly what to do, who to bring in here, how to do it, and he's going to – it's like you said in the past, like this is his first year, his first head coaching job. He's going to continually get better as a coach.
Yeah, he's going to evolve, right, for sure. I mean, no doubt. I mean, it's just like anything else you do. I mean, you think about your own – everybody, you can think about your own day-to-day life. I mean, it's you're better at your job, whatever you're working in year 5 than you were in year 1. I sure as hell hope so. So, yeah, I mean, I'm sure that Shane Beamer is going to look back year 5. He's going to look at year 1 and say, I would do this. I wouldn't do that. I've learned this. I've learned that. Yeah, it's just natural progression.
So here's the point I wanted to make about, getting to the top and climbing. Let's look at Alabama. How many years it took Nick Saban to get to, number 1, maybe not win the national championship. Another example would be Georgia and Kirby Smart. How many years did it take for Kirby to get to that number 1 ranking? Maybe not win the national championship, but you could use the national championship for that. And then Clemson with Dabo. How many years did it take for them to get to that number 1 spot? And so, can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
So for me, it's like, if Beamer did what he did with whatever was left over when he took over the program, and how good at evaluation and recruiting that he is with his players, and being in the system with good coaches like Clayton White and, the offensive coaches. And, I just see, even though we'll lose players from this next year, like, all the players you listed, there's going to be players that emerge as those people that take over. And, the other thing is with all those recruits, there's going to be some in this class that came out of nowhere that maybe end up playing true freshmen. Like, what if there's a Stephon Gilmore on this team right now? You know, and that Beamer recruited last year. You know, you just never know if somebody. We haven't had those type of players that have jumped in and started right away, and there could be some of those. You know, and if we keep winning, then we'll get those higher recruits. We improve on this year, then you could see some big time players playing as true freshmen, and then it just snowballs. You know, and that's how I see it, and that's why I wouldn't take 8-4 3 years in a row. I'd take 8-4 this year, but not. I see us getting better each year.
From your lips to God's ears, my guy. Yeah, from your lips to God's ears, my guy.
I'm realistic. No, I like what you say because you're realistic. I mean, I think it would be really hard to win 8-4, to go 8-4 and win these games this year. It's not the record. It's the teams that we play. And you know, I like how you break it down. I mean, we lost to Missouri last year.
Yeah, and
we can't go 8-4 and lose to Missouri.
I mean, there's two sides to every coin. You know what I mean? Like, we could have won 9 games last year. We could have easily won 4. So I guess I try to keep that in perspective, that we were really fortunate to go 6-6, 7-6 with the bowl. So, you know, I love your outlook. You're right. On the positive side of things, every recruit we're recruiting could pan out. We won 7 with that roster last year. But, I mean, dude, I've talked to guys like Brad Lawing and say, Chris, Carolina could be better this year and have a worse record, believe it or not. So, I mean, it's at some point, though, yeah, if you're going to take that next step and do what you're saying and go win 9 or go win 10, you got to have a breakthrough season. You know, you got to get a breakthrough win. You got to do something that maybe people like me or others aren't expecting. You just at some point have to do it. You know, you can't just keep winning the ones you're supposed to and losing the ones you're supposed to and this, that. Like, you got to break through. So I'm not saying it's impossible. I guess just after the Muschamp era, bro, I look at an 8-4 season with such just, God, that sounds like the most fun thing ever. Like, I just, you know what I mean? I don't know, bro. I don't, God, I'd kill to go 8-4, bro. That's really how I feel right now. I'd kill to go 8-4. So, you know, and I guess when Beamer was hired, I was like, you know, if we're winning 9 to 10 games by year 5, that would be awesome. You know, so if years 2, 3, and 4 we went 8-4, I'd be pretty happy, to be honest with you. I'd be pretty damn happy. So, but yeah, I mean, obviously you want to see the program, continue to get better, and you get better players and you get better recruits. I mean, look at Spurrier, right? Look at Spurrier. You know, they won 6, 7, or they won that year 2, they won 8 with the Liberty Bowl. But, you know, they had like the 6, 7 win years, first 4 or 5 years. It took them a little while to get it going. So, you know, I just think if we can have patience, I think that I think our patience will be rewarded. I think it'll pay off. But, you know, I think it's still going to take time. I think line of scrimmage, we got to get better on the line of scrimmage. I think that's a huge, huge part of it. But I think sky's the limit with Beamer. And you got to believe with Shane Beamer that it's possible. You got to believe he's the guy. You got to believe it's possible. I mean, I think he is. You don't have him in that position if you don't think he's the guy. So, you know, we'll see. He's going to give it his best shot. There's no question. So, we'll see.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, I'm still pretty confident. This is the Shane storm, man. This thing's building, and I think to say that, you know, or just, you know, think about how just to take 8-4, I think we can improve each year, and we'll keep getting better and better. And if we only win 7 this year, or let's go 7-5 and win the bowl game, so 8, that would be ideal.
Yeah, but I think 7-5 would be a successful year. I do. Yeah, I think 7-5 would be a successful year.
But with a bowl game,
I'm just saying. I don't care if we lose the bowl game. I think 7-5 is a good year. I'm not like kicking and screaming over 7-5. Bowl game, win or lose, whatever. You're not going to win every bowl game you play, but you know, 7-5 regular season, I don't think that's a bad year. Put it that way. I know some fans would look at that and say, I think that's still a good year. I think you're still making progress. How you win too, how you win those 7, how you lose those 5, I think that's important, right? Because last year, I mean, we went 6-6. I mean, until we won the bowl game, honestly, Luke RJ, until we won the bowl game, I don't think people looked at last season with a whole lot of – they didn't spin it in a positive light. Winning the bowl game sort of just cured all for us. We have a whole different take on how last season was. It's interesting how one game can do that. You win one single game, I mean, it just completely changes your narrative and the scope in which you view the season. But I think most, after we lost to Clemson 30-0, they looked at that 6-6 season and said, that's kind of an ugly 6-6. You beat ECU on a last-second field goal. You beat Troy by single digits. You beat Vanderbilt by 1 point. You know, you were lucky to win 6 games. If you can go 7-5 this year, but you take care of business like you should against Georgia State, Charlotte, SC State. You take care of business against Vandy, couple touchdowns victory like you should. You beat a Missouri at home. You play a Georgia, Clemson, A&M. Maybe all 3 of those or 2 of the 3 at minimum down to the wire, right? You show obvious improvement. You do those things. That 7-5 is going to feel a lot better than that 6-6 did. You know what I mean? So, but to your point, yeah. I mean, if you can go 8-5 with a bowl win, I think that'd be a great year. I think it'd be an absolutely great year.
Yeah, well, that's a good point about the season last year. It really is.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the way in which we won was so ugly. You know, I mean, and I say ugly. I mean, listen, this team found ways to win, but in college football, we all know like style points matter to people. Like, it's not good. It's not baseball where it's just a win is a win. You win by a run. Like, you know, people want to see you're playing Vandy. They don't want to see you win on a last-second drive to win the game. Right? I mean, because, I mean, dude, you look at our season last year. I mean, those wins over Florida and Auburn, they were great wins, and they really salvaged the season. Because going into that final stretch, I don't know if you recall this, that final 4 games, I mean, we were 4-4. Just gotten the shit kicked out of us by A&M. I think many people after A&M didn't think we'd win another game. Or maybe it was Vandy, whatever game it was. There were many people that were like, we're not going to win another game, flat out. We're not winning another football game. And so to do what you did against Florida as a 20-point underdog, you know, then this team was so crazy last year, right? You do that, then you go lose to Mizzou. Then the following week, you're a dog to Auburn. You beat them. So it was a topsy-turvy roller coaster type of year. And amidst all the madness, Beamer was able to hit the right buttons to get to 6 wins. I mean, it was a fantastic job by his staff. It really was, in my opinion.
Well, yeah. I mean, the thing about Beamer is, you know, some teams, they start hot and then they aren't as good as they were by the end of the season. With Beamer, it seems like and this was just his first year learning all this new stuff with practice. And I mean, I know he had a blueprint for it, but you know, his team literally did get better as the year went on.
Well, that was my most impressive thing with Beamer. People ask me what impressed you most in year 1. It was just that Beamer stayed the same guy and was able to keep his team hopeful and optimistic and playing good football, even amidst the adversity, because we could have folded it up after A&M, bro. We could have, we got punched in the face a lot last year. Georgia, A&M, losing on the road to a bad Missouri team. I mean, we got punched in the face a lot, and we were able to bounce back and attack the right way. And, that stems from the guy at the top. So.
Yeah. Well, then the last thing I'll say is, I know it's almost 2:00. But the top 30 total defense, I was looking at it. Last year, we were 41 in total defense. So I just think there's going to be some players either from the recruiting classes or people on the scout team or someone. I know the people that we lost, we didn't lose a whole lot. We did lose some good players, but I just think top 30 total defense. Our defense, even though if we don't get the turnovers and stuff, I think will be improved in second year of Clayton White. I got to believe that or if not, we'll be around. Well, hopefully we're a little bit better than we were, and I think that's possible. So if the offense can pick it up, we'll be a better team than we were last year, 100%.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's fair. I mean, and listen, I love Clayton White, love Torian Gray, and those guys. You know, have they earned the benefit of the doubt from us? Probably. I mean, they probably should. I mean, what they did, I don't know if anybody recalls this. I graded, when I do my position unit previews, I graded the secondary a D-. And I argued it was the worst position group on the football team. So to see them do what they did was incredible. It was incredible. Again, my questions more so stem from, of course, stopping the run. I mean, it's crazy. We were 41st in the country. We couldn't stop the run for anything. And then it's just we were so heavily dependent on turnovers. Jalen Foster was a turnover machine. Where does that production come from? I'm not saying it won't. I'm just saying, where will it come from? Is Devontae Reed ready to fill in? Does R.J. Roderick have his best year in garnet and black? I think we'll be solid defensively either way. But will we be quite as good as we were last year? We'll see. Top 30 would be a great year. I mean, that would be but again, Clayton White, hey, I wouldn't doubt him. He did a great job last year. So, and that, I'm excited for a lot of these young defensive backs they brought in. Heck, they brought in 6 safeties or 6 DBs, what have you. I'd like to see more from the D-line and the linebacker position. We got to stop the run, man. That's really the key. That's what it comes down to. Pickens is back. Birch is back, and they have their best years. Can Sherrod Green stay healthy and lead the linebackers? Can Stone Blanton contribute? Can Mo Kaba take the next step? We've been weak. We've been weak in those areas for a while. So I'd like to see us take the next step when it comes to the run defense.
Think about this. Think about how many games were so close in a low-scoring game that the defense kept us in it, and all we needed was like 17 points or like 20.
Think about Kentucky.
And our offense, and our offense is going to be probably at least twice as better as it was than last year. There's no question. With all the transfers and everybody we got, it should be. So I think we're 100% better than we were, or we're a lot better team than we were last year in 2021.
Yeah, so, I'd agree. I think this is going to be a better team this year than it was last year. I do agree with that statement. Yes.
All right, Chris.
Luke RJ, appreciate it, my man. Great stuff. Always a riveting call with Luke RJ. That's why I like talking to Luke RJ, because he challenges me and we go back and forth. Now, listen, in closing, we've hit 2:00. I think we are going to be a better football team this year. I don't know that it's going to equate to 9 wins. It might only equate to 7, but we are going to be a better team. I think we'll be more entertaining. I think we'll be more fun to watch. And I think overall we will be better. Guys, we've hit 2:00. Again, appreciate you all tuning in. If you have not done so, check out SEC Unfiltered. Episode 3 dropped this morning. The podcast for TSUS will drop tomorrow. We're at Tenru tomorrow also. I'm speaking at 1 Million Cups in the morning, an entrepreneurial event that's in 5 Points. If you guys want to check it out, it's in the morning, 9 a.m. Free coffee. If you guys want to come out and just hear what we got going on. Other than that, content bleeding out of the eyeballs, Daily Crow live all week. Appreciate it. Hey, y'all have a great rest of your Tuesday, and we will talk.